Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this film review, we'll be taking a look at Florida's defense versus Vanderbilt's offense. We had said at the end of the Kentucky film review that we expected Florida's defense to bounce back, and that this defense we thought was an excellent defense that had a very bad game. On top of that, we thought Florida would learn from the mistakes they put out there versus Kentucky. And this game was a get-right game from Florida. Vanderbilt, of course, a team that has not been playing well this season on offense or defense. They were better on offense than they were on defense. They did provide some challenge. They had been scoring on teams more than they largely scored on Florida. So this day was a solid day, as you will see on film, but it was not without its wrinkles and areas where Florida can improve. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, like this video, follow us on social media, drop us a dono where you can support our efforts to provide you more of this type of content. Check out our merch and check out the podcast each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis on your Florida Gators. Let's start with 2nd down and 7 and what apparently was Vanderbilt's game plan when they got the look they liked, which is to take advantage of Jason Marshall, Florida's theoretically most talented corner. Of course, on paper, he is the most talented corner, a former 5-star. He's been putting mixed things on film this season, some highs, some lows, everything kind of in between. But Vanderbilt thought they had something with the matchup. Early on here from Florida, we can see that Jaden Hill is our run-fit defender. He's primarily going to be potentially a conflict defender playing either both run or pass. He climbs in first. His first responsibility is run. Upon seeing it's not run, he then bubbles back and takes away any in-breaking route, which is excellent work. Jordan Castell, top of your screen here, is going to wall off the inside. We're on the far hash. If he wants to run a far out route here, he will then chase from the inside, but going to make sure that he knows he has help underneath here. This slant route's taken away by alignment from Jaden Hill. He's on top over here, which means that we are leaving man-to-man here, Jason Marshall. Man-to-man everywhere he goes. He's going to wind up running with this slant route. And as a quick refresher, Florida plays split safety. If you're not familiar with what that means, let's spend a second going over it because, of course, we see that every single game. But with split safety, you can essentially play different coverages on either side of the field. And we'll cover this more in the future. But what you're playing over here can be different than what you're playing over here. You could play man over here. You could play zone over here. You could have different rules with how you play that zone. We're going to explore that in this particular film review a couple of other times. But right away, Jaden Hill, far hash, sees its pass. He's going to wind up bubbling into this slant route here. But really, they want this slant route here. A couple things go wrong for Jason Marshall. One, he's going to wind up losing his leverage and his footing, which means the receiver is going to be moving downhill with his momentum. Marshall's going to be moving backwards with his momentum. He's going to put his left hand on the shoulder pad over here. And since his footing is still going backwards, he does not have any drive into the backfield. This movement of the left arm on the right shoulder pad of the receiver is going to allow the receiver to continue his momentum this way, and Jason Marshall is going to go this way, which is going to create, yep, you guessed it, separation. Easy pitch and catch here, ball right on the face mask. Nice big gain early on for Vanderbilt. What could Jason Marshall have done differently? I spent almost an entire year actually chronicling cornerback play for a while there. It does exist on the channel within Florida's defense from several years ago. But as a quick refresher here, if you're Jason Marshall, what I would like to see, there's different ways to teach this. I'd like to see the good old cross-body jam. As soon as Jason Marshall feels like he has good footing and we're close with our receiver here, let's make sure when he makes his move to the inside, we're strong, we're leaning downhill some, and then we're able to then drive with our right arm across to his right shoulder pad, a cross-body jam. Why? We want to drive downhill and redirect his momentum some this way. So if he does run this slant, our momentum is this way. His momentum gets altered this way with ours, and now we're on top of the route, and we're both facing the same direction. If he instead tries to take a step this way and then come out the backside, because we cross-body jam with our right hand, rerouted him some, when he comes this way, we are also then able to use our left hand to cross-body jam him as he comes out the backside. All of that stuff would be ideal. Plus, we're out here at the numbers. where ideally want to take away the inside and then give him this far hash outside throw. Do not let him beat you on an in-breaking route. So Marshall gets those things wrong. That leads to a conversion on 2nd and 7, and Vanderbilt is off and running early on. Perhaps Florida's defense is going to start giving up plays. Maybe this is a theme, you might have thought, watching the opener. 3rd and 8 for Vandy. Florida, split safety, true freshman. True freshman right here, Bryce Thornton, pretty impressive. True freshman right here, Jordan Castell. Impressive what these guys are able to do already. First time we've seen really Bryce getting extended playing time. He played pretty nicely. But now you're going to see the effect of split safety. So we're 3-by-2 over here, and we're 3-by-2 over here. Basically 2-by-2 in the formation. Florida's going to play this differently on the bottom. We're going to play straight man. Here's Jason Marshall. We're playing man here. We're playing man here. Safety over the top. But up top, we are not playing man. In fact, up top, we're playing essentially a cover 2 technique here. We're looking back at the quarterback. We're going to cover the flats. If he runs vertical, we're going to carry him and stay underneath, playing still this part of the field while we pass this off if it's vertical to the safety. The safety then is not essentially worried about any route down in here. Jaden Hill is going to wind up walling off the inside. We don't want the ball to go in here. He's on the far hash. We're going to funnel any throw to the outside where we actually have a robber defender by alignment in our cover 2 corner. Let's watch this play out. Far hash throw. Here comes Kelby Collins. Right, here's Princely, a little interior pressure. And now, far hash throw. Jaden Hill walled off to the inside. He turns to the inside. That allows Jaden Hill to break out here. There's your pass-off route from your dropping corner, passing off to your safety who's over the top. Excellent work here. Jaden Hill break on the ball. Pass deflection. Ball gets deflected a little more. Your cover 2 corner tech is coming down for a pick 6. Right? Excellent defense. Great football by alignment. Really impressive stuff from Florida, especially with 2 freshmen at the back end. Split safety is far more complicated to run than something like a basic cover 3 or any kind of cover 1 system. And Coach Ham, of course I call him Coach Ham, but Coach Austin Armstrong, really, again, I think very impressive with what he's got Florida to do in year 1. And right out of the gate with 2 freshman safeties and a sensation, I think, at nickel. That's not too strong of a word. I think he's been a revelation, if you will, at nickel for Florida. The best nickel we've had since Chauncey Gardner. Makes a play early on. Really is in the right place at the right time, doing his job consistently all game long. And if you're an apex defender, generally speaking, an apex defender, you're the second in from the first in from the corner, the second defender from the end on either end. Your job is hard. A lot of thinking has to be done. And Jaden Hill's done a great job. Great job there. Good pass breakup. Florida gets off the field in 3rd and 8. They are the best 3rd down defense in the SEC, and they get a stop early on here. Outside of the Kentucky game, Florida's been an excellent screen defense. And right now you can see Florida's defenders signaling to each other based upon the pre-snap alignment. Here's what we have. Working with Jason Marshall, Jaden Hill telling Jason Marshall what we're doing. Jason Marshall working with Bryce Thornton. Now Bryce Thornton going back with what we're going to do. Now we get a motion across the field. That's going to change our rules, right? We go right here from essentially a 2-by-2. Here's your tight end, a 2-by-2, to a 3-by-1 with a motion in a bunch. And now Florida can have different rules for how they want to handle this bunch. Do they east-west it? Do they triangle it with regards to how they handle this interiorly? What happens if they both go inside? Whoops, sorry, let's go back. What happens if they both go inside? There's a lot of things that Florida can do here. We'll get this right. There's a lot of things that Florida can do here. Defensively, they need to communicate. Whichever way they want to cover this, they need to communicate. And as I should say in every video, there's so many ways to play even this 3-by-1 set right here. There's a million ways to play this, right? And every team has their own rules for what they want to do. I don't know what the rules are pre-snap. I don't know what the rules are for this play. I don't know how Florida wants to handle this. I make guesses based upon what I see on film post-snap, and we look from there. But in this particular play, a lot of communication required, and Jaden Hill knows for sure he is going to be the defender who's responsible for a screen. He reads screen, goes to the outside, check, allowing Florida to have a 2-on-1, coming downhill, check, and then does one better by making the tackle himself and getting a tackle for a loss. So really nice stuff. Look, football may seem simple when you're watching on television, but if you're defending, it takes 11 guys as one. This one simple motion here, when you're playing split safety, changes the rules for how they're going to defend this set. They go from a 2-by-2 to a 3-by-1. You must get those rules correct. If you get them wrong, as we're going to see later, you blow assignments. If you get them right, you get a nice play like this one. 3rd down and 6 for Vanderbilt. Motion across is now going to change the rules. Look at what's happening here. You have Thornton originally down low, the freshman at the line of scrimmage. Now that they motion back over, out of a 3-by-1, here's a nub tight end. Nub tight end, he's the only one here. There's no receiver, so a nub tight end now becomes a 2-by-2 running back on this side. That's going to change the rules. We switch this. Now we have Bryce up top. And now Florida, how are they going to play this? Set 3rd and 6. How are they going to get the field? Well, let's look at what's happening first at the top of the screen. Top of the screen, we're playing straight man. Straight man defense there, right at top of your screen. Safety you can barely see here. So we're still 3-on-2, sound versus, but we're playing 3-on-2 with man. The bottom of your screen, some different rules going on here. This is Kimber. Kimber immediately opens to the outside, meaning he's going to cover anything that comes to his outside. If nothing comes to his outside, he's going to come back here and try to help rob any vertical. Again, I'm guessing, right? If these routes both break interiorly, as you're going to see, then you're going to get the linebackers handling these routes here, all right? Now, what we have, running back assignment here. Shamar is going to take a look and see what is happening with the number 1 receiver. If he breaks interiorly, he's going to call under, under, under. Here it comes. He then is going to eye him. He's responsible for this if he comes across. Sorry, he's going to eye him if he's responsible if he comes across. There it is. He eyes him. Now he sees he's going to break out. He now latches on, all while the safety. He's responsible for carrying number 2 vertical. If the tight end goes vertical, it's his job. He's responsible for that. He's watching if he goes vertical. As soon as he does not go vertical, he's going to come down on that route. Florida does their job across the board. Here's Shamar erasing this on your screen, although you can't see this. You've got a true freshman coming down perfectly, clamping down on that dig route. And then we've got right here, Trey Wingo locking down the running back, which leads to a throwaway. So again, excellent stuff from Florida's defense. I'm getting a little bit more in detail of what Florida does in this video. We'll slow that down here in a second to start looking more at plays, but it gives you a nice idea of what's happening every single time on the football field. There's a lot of stuff going on, and Florida's defense with freshmen and new players abound, doing a really nice job handling their rules, executing their strategies and tactics for different formations that Vanderbilt is throwing at them. 2nd and 7 here. Jason Marshall on an island. Man, everywhere he goes. Florida playing very aggressively in the box here. Let's start first with what I love. I love the contact that we're going to get here early on. We're making contacts. We're striking these blocks, right? We're locking this up. And Vanderbilt correctly on 2nd and 7 says, if they're going to load this stuff up and deny us running, let's take a shot. Florida says, we trust our number 1 corner. Let's see what happens. Well, all of you have probably seen this play now. And what you're going to see at the top of your screen is basically a face mask being ripped off right there. That's a full grab of the face mask for Jason Marshall. He's then going to actually throw his head down, which you can start to see happening here. Look at this. He's pulling him by the face mask right now. The next thing that happens, which you can see on the All-22, is he pulls his head almost halfway to the ground, actually, right there. As Jason Marshall goes off your screen, he's going to pull his head down. That's ridiculous, and you can see this now if you're still seeing this on your screen, which I know that you are. Jason Marshall's head is going towards the ground, and he's completely lost with what's ever happening. And now he grabs his face because, again, his helmet's been ripped basically off. Starts to recover, is still there. I think what happens here is I think he thinks he's going to go out of bounds, personally. I think Jason Marshall's gotten dogged for this play pretty hard. I think he's frustrated right here. The call's not there. I think he thinks he's going to run out of bounds, and then he doesn't, and then it's a bad look. He's not running hard, does not chase after him hard, and it's a touchdown. So what does this mean for me? 1, that's a horrific call. It's got to be called. 2, obviously for Jason Marshall, there's an injustice that was committed against you. They missed the call. It's egregious. It's bad. It's the only reason he gets open. However, injustices when it comes to referees, injustices in life are going to happen. You got to fight through them and make your best effort to stop this from being a touchdown and instead just letting it be 20 or 25 yards and then go plead your case to the official and say, look, the guy took my head off. Please see that next time. You missed that one. I get it. I know you're not trying to miss it, but you missed it. Instead, we sort of just put our arms up and say, hey, man, did you not see this? Which is true. It should have been called. And now this, we're just going to jog this out. We got 50 yards to go. We're going to jog that out. Here comes Kimber from the backside saying, I'm at least going to run this out. Not a great look, right? Not a great look. And I think if you're Jason Marshall, you watch that on film and thought, the next time this happens, I need to finish this play. And I'm sure that's what he's thinking. I hope that's what he's thinking. in this case. But no doubt that should have been a penalty. This was a significant part, almost a third of Vanderbilt's entire yardage right here. You take this play away as it should be. The stats look even better for Florida's defense, so egregiously bad missed call. But again, that happens sometimes. Make sure, Jason Marshall, you finish the play next time, even if an injustice has been committed against you. You are right. They should have called it. But also, let's chase this guy down or give our full best effort to do so. 2nd and 7 now. Florida up top and man. Safety over the top, helping on the inside here with Jaden Hill. Leaving again, Jason Marshall. Man everywhere he goes. A Meg call. Same matchup we've seen this time, and I like to see this, right? The last time we saw Jason Marshall, we saw that touchdown. Now we see him again, and now he's like, look, I'm going to remedy what happened earlier. Let's watch how he plays this slant route. Now, as he releases to the outside, he's not releasing inside this time, which we want him to release. He stays with inside leverage, and now he's going to get his left hand on him, which essentially is a crossbody jam. Left hand as he goes over here. That's a crossbody jam. And now, because he crossbody jammed him and he wants to come this way, Jason Marshall is on top of the route, and both of their momentum is negated. So now Marshall's able to come downhill, which you can see here, make a play on this football, almost get a pick, and that is great stuff. And I love to see it. You know, when you've had a ridiculously bad play go against you, come back out there, same guy you're battling against, and that is how you do it. Perfect technique from start to finish, and that's why, of course, it's mixed reviews right now for Jason Marshall. You see stuff like this on film, and that is an A+ technique-wise. That is everything you could ever want as a corner. That is absolute control, man-to-man on an island of a slant route. Excellent stuff. Let's see more of that. Really good. 3rd down and 7 for Florida. Again, Florida's been so successful on 3rd down, and here's an example of why this does not go right for Florida on the front end. Princely, who had a phenomenal game, you're going to see him popping all over this film, beats his man, is going to create some havoc. I mean, look at this power rush right into Seals. Swan did not play, Seals did, but the rest of Florida's line is getting manhandled here. Kelby Collins, the guy who's been really popping on Florida's film, is just getting controlled by the right tackle. I mean, this is great blocking. Look, sometimes you got to give credit where credit's. It's fantastic. This is a show. That is a show right there from Vanderbilt at right tackle. But Florida's not going anywhere. Meanwhile, Princely is by himself chasing Seals around right here. Look at this. Getting blocked again, rerouted. He's still chasing him to the point to where finally, right, Caleb Banks gets free, gets a hand in the face. But what's more impressive is off the screen here, Florida opens up in defense. Here's Jordan Castell. What we're going to do is we're going to wall this off. So Scooby's going to slide in here, wall off the inside. Castell's responsible for anything that goes vertical from him. And we lock this junk down. Castell undercuts this. I mean, everything is locked down off your screen. No one is open. But then, watch Scooby here. As this play starts to break around, Scooby's then mirroring where Seals goes, run back around. By the time the ball is thrown, this is Castell has been manning the receiver that was out here, who then U-turned on him, and he's locking him down, getting a pass breakup as a freshman. So again, he executes the exact philosophy Florida wants. He then locks on and plays man, and then finishes the play. That is sensational stuff from Castell. Unfortunately, there's a roughing the passer on Banks, who came in late, right there, finishes the hit, and Vanderbilt gets an automatic 1st down, negating a 3rd down stop from Florida. Versus Kentucky, Florida struggled versus their gap runs. We knew that Vanderbilt was going to challenge them with some gap runs as well. And here is an example of one, a quick hitting gap or power run here to the right side. And a couple things are evident early on. One, Princely is going to get penetration. That's one of the best ways to stop. We described kind of these gap runs as like counter runs, especially as slow-moving freight trains. But even any gap run, you want to beat them to the gap. And the best way to do this is disrupt where they want to get to, right? So they ideally wanted to come around here like this. Well, Princely's already ruined that by trapping a blocker down there. And now that allows what you see with Florida, 3 defenders flowing to the ball. And there is Florida's safety, R.J. Moten, who misses the tackle. However, what's really nice about this play is Coach Ham diagnoses this play perfectly and calls it exactly correct. In a split safety, you can assign one of your safeties to run fit. And we talk about run fit, you got to think about who has what gap and how many gaps are there. Well, in a general play without a tight end, there is an A gap, a B gap, and a C gap, an A gap, a B gap, and a C gap. Those are 6 gaps. You put a tight end in here, you have a 7th gap. That's why you generally, if you have 7 players in line of scrimmage, you want to have 7 players here so you can account for each gap. Now, there's different ways you can do this. You could drop a guy out and have a guy come in, which is what Florida's going to do here. They're going to bring their safety into the run fit right here, and that is what you see R.J. Moten doing. That's a great call. Now you got to make a tackle. You got to slow him down, something we did not see versus Kentucky. We do see it here. So early on, Florida passes the test right there on 1st down and 10 and gets a stuff for no gain. Florida hit Vanderbilt at the line of scrimmage on 47% of their run plays. Florida averages a 50% contact rate at the line of scrimmage on the season versus Kentucky. They were in the low 20s. That was a big reason why Florida struggled in that game, despite the fact they were there. As we saw on film, they could not make the tackle or even slow down in General Ray Davis. They do it here. All right, 3rd and 9 for Vanderbilt. Again, Florida in a split safety. When this motion receiver comes over, it's going to change from a 3-by-1 to a 2-by-2. That's going to adjust the rules for Florida. And then let's watch the defenders as they communicate. Here is right here, the true freshman. He's going to give his signal. Shamar's going to give his signal. They're making the same signal. Everything looks good. You notice that Jason Marshall sees the motion and never makes any attempt to communicate or do anything else because he assumes he is man everywhere, as we've seen earlier, everywhere he goes. Right? He's been locked up on 14 most of the game. Florida is manning him everywhere he goes. And now on top of that, on 3rd and 9, we're going to take away the interior part with Shamar, which means what Florida has elected to do here is they've elected, in theory, to have Bryce Thornton come down and actually man the opposing number 1 who came across here. That is the plan that Florida seems to be enacting, except Bryce is going to back up here. He's going to then recognize he has no coverage here, and they essentially get a blown assignment and an easy completion for a 1st down. Now, I say this every film review. I don't know what Florida's rules are. I don't know who's supposed to be doing what. I can only guess based upon what I see. There are so many different ways to play a stack set like this. You could play east-west, where Jason Marshall is supposed to come out here and take the first breaking out route. Shamar takes the first breaking in route. And you could do a whole bunch of other things. There's a lot of things you can do, right? I can't know that. But however, if you are watching on television, sometimes you get the benefit of this. If you watch something you think is a blown assignment, keep watching and see what happens with the players. And notice Shamar and the rookie, Bryce, talking, and you can see Shamar says, "This is the call." And Bryce says, "Bro, I thought that was the call too." And then he's like, "What's up, man? I thought I had it." And Shamar's like, "I'm not changing my posture. I'm in this," which leads you to believe that the true freshman, of course, made a mistake here, and he was, in fact, supposed to come down and take the opposing number 1 who came across man-to-man, while they essentially walled off and gave all their attention to Vanderbilt's best receiver, with Jason Marshall and Shamar bracketing him. So there you have it. Most likely the scenario. Still can't know for sure, but based upon this conversation, you can tell. So when you're watching the game, you can look for these signs as well. It's remarkable that Florida does not blow more of these assignments at this stage. As you can tell, this stuff is happening within 1 second of real time. It's happening very fast. And what your assignment was previously is now completely different when you get that motion across the field, and you have to get that right, communicate it, and then execute it. And that, of course, is why pre-snap motion is very beneficial. 1st and 10, Vanderbilt. I'm going to speed up some of these plays now. I've been covering a lot of these in depth, and I don't want to do that for the entire film review. We'll be here for 4 hours. Hopefully you're picking up what's happening. You can watch on your own and start to look at some of the differences. But for now, let's start breezing through some of these and giving you what is going to happen here. And we do see a blown assignment as both Scooby and Shamar come down on the running back here. This is a fake, leaving the tight end wide open. Thankfully, Seals inexplicably does not throw this pass. I mean, he's wide open here. Nice play design. They're running off Florida's back-end defenders, leaving a lot of space for this ball. He's got time and protection. And for some reason, he just, even right now, he's got it. The tight end's like, "Dude, I have to be open. I know I'm open." He's like, "Nah, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw the ball away. I'm not comfortable." So Florida gets away with it. And again, we can see Shamar turning. And there's some discussion right here of what's going on. So twice in a row, Florida's blowing assignments. It's good to see this, right? You want to see players immediately diagnosing it with each other rather than just looking to the sideline and saying, "Coach, what's going on?" That means somebody's pretty confident they're right, and I'm sure they had a discussion we can't see on screen, but 2 plays in a row now, you can see that Florida blows an assignment. 3rd down and 6. Coming into the game, we had mentioned how Vanderbilt was oddly very good versus 5-man pressures and that Florida should choose 6-man pressures instead. In this game, Vanderbilt was 6 of 7 versus 5-man pressures. One of those 5-man pressures was the touchdown we already saw to Jason Marshall. I mentioned it now because here comes another 5-man pressure. Princely, again, who's an absolute beast in this game, is going to just run right by his man and apply pressure here, which is nice because everyone is covered except this corner route is going to be open. Bryce slides to the inside, as you're going to see here, and he leaves this route wide open. This ball is there, but Princely's moving him off the spot. You'll hear me and others talk about moving the quarterback off the spot. This is a significant reason why you want to do that, and it's why edge rushers get paid a lot of money in the NFL, is if you can move quarterbacks off the spot, you mess up the timing of the offense, and you take what's going to be an easy completion to Vanderbilt's best receiver, and you turn it into, you can see now it's too late. This throw is not going to be there, or it could be there, but he's got no momentum. He's late. Probably not going to be great. Turns it into I'm not going to get it there. I'm going to throw it out of bounds, right? There it goes. So 3rd and 5 now becomes a stop. It would not have been a stop had Princely not been able to get there. He does get there, and Florida gets another 3rd down stop. 4th and 5 for Vanderbilt. At the end of this game, Vanderbilt's going to wind up being 0 for 3 on 4th down, and they were 1 for 10 on 3rd down. So sensational stuff from Florida, but this is one they could have had. Also, one Florida should have had for a stop. Let's take a look at the action here. Bunch set, right? You've got a bunch set, a 3-by-1 here at the bottom of your screen. Jaden Hill is going to bump out to the outside. He's going to become your flats defender on the outside. Open up, read the release. Read the release here of the number 1 receiver as he goes inside, knowing that he has Cersei dropping back to cover that slant, which is going to be disguised and a little late, but it's there. The slant is largely taken away by alignment, but Vanderbilt, with a good call on, is going to basically run a pivot route or a return route or a whip out route, whatever you want to call that route based upon your own terminology, right at the sticks, which is the perfect route in this situation. Jaden has to carry this to the safety. He then carries it, breaks off, seeing this happening, comes downhill to make a tackle, which is going to be short of the sticks if he can make this tackle right here on 4th down. So Florida's defense, check. This concept will work. It's creative. We're in good shape. It's going to be there. And he misses the tackle, but then Cersei comes in and he strips the ball right here. Ball's out, scooped up by Kimber, who's opportunistic and is right there to pick it up. And then shortly thereafter is tackled. But either way, Florida, a team that has not been generating a lot of turnovers, gets one there on what would have been a 4th down conversion by Vanderbilt. But Florida had a chance to make a stop there. Nice throw, nice play call by Vandy, the right call versus Florida's defense. And even then, Florida's defense still there to make a stop. Excellent work by Jaden Hill to play that role of passing off his vertical route to the safety and then coming downhill at the exact right time to make a tackle. Just didn't get it done. But as you can see from SAP here, Florida does get it done and generates a turnover. Florida takes the lead 14-7 after a 1st down by Vanderbilt. We have freshman Jakeem Jackson, who has been learning a few things the hard way, as freshmen will tend to do in college football. Nothing wrong with that. Is going to take this fake here, really just faking a vertical route to the outside, creating space, getting into Jakeem's body, and then snapping this off to the middle. And if I had to guess, I would say this is also a blown assignment because I believe, based upon Jakeem's footwork, that he thinks he has vertical help here from the safety. Florida starts off looking like they have too high, but in fact, they're both coming down here. Both safeties coming down here, which leads me to believe that Florida, again, lots of different ways to cover these 2-by-2 sets here. The safeties are coming down on the number 2 receivers on each side. They are taking them if they go vertical, and if they wind up running a dig or something here, they're taking those, and they are leaving Jakeem here essentially by himself, taking anything the number 1 does vertically. You can see from Jakeem's technique, he doesn't think that's the case. He opens up, he gets torched, leaving a wide open post route. This is why there are no safeties here, by the way. This is done correctly on this side. Notice how he's on top of the route because he knew he had no help. Incorrectly here. He's a freshman. It's okay. He'll learn. He's beat, but he doesn't quit on the play. and he makes a tackle. Important stuff. Good job there, Jakeem. I know you got beat. Don't quit on the play. Make a tackle here. Jason Marshall, nice job. You've had some not so great stuff on this film review with the opening play that you got face masked on and, didn't hustle for. But since then, a lot of good stuff's been put on film by you. So nice work there. Young fella here, Jakeem. Not the play he wants to make, but hustle back, make a tackle, save a touchdown, and see what happens. 2nd and goal now, so Florida gets a stop on 1st down. Vanderbilt not in the end zone yet. And look, I have to love the way the coach hand plays this stuff. If you're a corner or you're a nickel and you fancy yourself as a good man-to-man defender, come to Florida. Look at what we're doing here on 2nd down and goal. It's a true freshman. Like, look, we're cool. We're playing man. We're locking up on 2nd and 4. We trust our guys on an island. And Vanderbilt's going to counter with an RPO. Really nice call. Let's RPO this thing. Let's get everybody in here and clear this out and take this on a slant. But look at Jakeem. He's going to soft foot back, make sure he can launch. Excellent work here. Watch. He gives himself a launching pad. Really important footwork. If he keeps his feet straight underneath him, he's not going to launch in time to close down on the slant route. Sets up the launch as soon as he sees his break here. He's ready to explode this way. He goes, he clamps down on the route, and now he gets there early. This is definitely pass interference. Here's the ball. It's not going to be called, but they at least owe us one. But all in all, this is really good technique by Jakeem. And in fact, he doesn't need to hook him here early. He can wait for this pass breakup. But that's really, really good stuff from Jakeem. Excellent technique and off coverage there. Coming down as soon as he makes this move within 3 yards. Great leverage point, great launch point, great stop. And now we're on 3rd down. That big play was not a touchdown. It's now 3rd down. 3rd down now. Vanderbilt not good in the red zone. We talked about that in the podcast. And perhaps here's one reason why you're going to see why. Florida locks this up. Locked up here, locked up here. This is the route that they want to hit, and it's going to be there. Wingo is supposed to wall this off to the inside. And it looks like here, you can see Castell is too. Everything is perfect pre-snap. We have some questions about what happens now, though, because Wingo is going to let this go. He's rerouting, assuming he might have somebody dropping back into this window. And again, I cannot tell you what happens from here other than Princely. Once again, big leaguing people, not getting a whole lot of anywhere else here, but look at Princely just driving the left tackle. I mean, he is big leaguing that guy. Then he's getting held afterwards after driving the left tackle back. I mean, that's good stuff. And thankfully, we get a late hand in the face situation here, which causes this pass just to miss the wide open receiver that came here. So Florida does not get the assignment right there. But Princely, in large part here, gets the quarterback off the spot. Get him off the spot. If he doesn't get him off the spot, probably a touchdown. Gets him off the spot and prevents another completion and a big play. Princely showing up all over film. Vanderbilt does not get in on 3rd down, bringing up a crucial 4th down. So that tackle by Jakeem Jackson perhaps is going to save some points for Florida. All right, 4th and goal, Jakeem Jackson down here. We're going to get a pre-snap motion of the number 1 receiver who slides here. That then is going to bring Jakeem down here. That's exactly what Vanderbilt wants. It's the matchup they wanted to create by switching this from a 2x2 to a 3x1. Florida says, no worries, we trust our freshmen. We're going to be DBU one day if we're not right now in this instant as we have been before. That's the title we're coming for. And let's watch how he plays this one. We saw him play the slant really well. So Vandy says, no worries, you think we're going to run a slant. Let's make it look the same. And we're going to run a return route or a pivot route or what I would call a whip out route here. That's what we're going to run. Let's watch how it looks. It looks like a slant route. We're selling the slant route. Jakeem, once again, closes really, really well. Same launch point on the slant route as we know he can do. But this is why people fancy him as potentially an elite corner. Here comes the whip out. This is not a great route by Vanderbilt's 48 here. Although it looks nice, he does not launch himself into space, which is what you want on this route. You need to be able to pivot step and launch yourself into space. He does not. Instead, Jakeem, who's reacting to this route, notoriously hard one to cover, is able to break his feet down quickly here, snap the left leg around, and then launch himself back to where this ball is going, which allows him to then entirely shade the front of this route. That's an incredible play by Jakeem, and that is absolutely sensational cornerbacking from a freshman. That's fantastic stuff, and this guy knows 4th down and goal. We were given a gift. I cannot believe we didn't score. Painful. Excellent work by Jakeem. 3rd and 4, some late TV work here as us miss a pre-snap motion, but what you see again is communication. I love this still shot. This is maybe my favorite one thus far. Split safety, we got to communicate, right? We got to communicate. So on this side, you get Jaden and Kimber communicating. How are we going to handle this? Who's the number 1? Who's the number 2? And then over here, Jason Marshall with the rookie. I call him the rookie, but the freshman. Bryce Thornton. Hey, look, you got to come down here and you got to handle this stack with me. It's your role. Come down and handle the stack, right? There it is. Look, come on. Come down here and handle the stack. Looks like Florida's going to handle this east-west. Marshall's going to take the first one out. Thornton takes the first one in. On this side over here, a little bit different. Kimber's going to take, in this case, the tight end, which is probably the number 2. Doesn't really matter. He's taking him, and this is going to be the number 1 over here, or vice versa. And then Jaden Hill's got him, and that's how they're going to handle this one. So not first in, first out, but instead they are just manned up here. So different techniques on either side. Marshall again goes with the first man out. Thornton first man in. Check box over there. 3rd and 4. He thinks he's got a lot of space here, but this is exactly what Florida wants, and this is where Jaden Hill is just shining right now. Good technique. Here's your sticks. There's the line, right? Jaden Hill is going to have to come downhill. He's got to come downhill right now to make this tackle, or it's going to be a first down. First down line's moved on us. There it is. Come downhill, make the hit. He breaks downhill, trust his footwork. Immediate wrap up and tackle, 4th down. That is playing with professionalism as a nickel. Awesome to see that stuff. Great work, Jaden Hill. After Florida has a nice 3-minute drill, if you will, really a 2-minute drive in how quickly they scored, but 3 minutes to go, they wind up scoring a touchdown to go up 2 scores. It's time for Florida's defense to get another stop here before halftime. 2nd down and 7. Something we've seen from Florida pretty consistently throughout the season is they've struggled to stop screen plays. Now, in this scenario here, you could argue that you might want to give up the screen play for time purposes, but Vanderbilt's still with timeouts. You don't want to give up 10 or 15 yards here, and they're going to catch Florida with a well-designed screenplay. Here it is, well-designed screenplay. Why do I say well-designed? Well, the interior defender here is going to be late. Jaden Hill's to the outside. We've got a blocker here for Shamar. Now, Shamar's going to overrun this to the outside, thinking he has help to the inside, which he does not. Again, you've got to play 11 as 1. He does not. There's no block ever even made. But now this screenplay on 2nd and 7 is picking up a lot of yards. So again, Florida has been susceptible to screens. Expect teams to continue to probe that in the future. 3rd and 4 with 6 seconds left. Most likely Hail Mary time. I like how Florida chooses to approach this. They have 2 deep way off your screen that you cannot see. And they're going to have 4, what looks to be maybe even more, 5 or 6 coming here. Just putting doubt in the quarterback. What is your play? How do you want to run it? Florida's actually going to bring 4. A twist right here. Here comes Cersei. Princely again. There he is. Princely's working one-on-one. He's going to just crush that right tackle. Unfortunately, a little too aggressive in that twist. Now he's going to take out Cersei with him. This is not ideal, right? That's why you don't want to overplay your hand, especially on a Hail Mary down. You do not want the quarterback to come out here and have enough time to throw a well-established Hail Mary. So we're going to get a not check mark here. Percy going a little bit too hard. There's McClellan who drives by and whiffs. That's not his fault. Again, he's assuming he has help here. In these B gaps, he does not. And then there's Sapp, who's been really smart and heady pretty much all year long, and he's going to do it again. Sapp, instead of working like a wild man here trying to make a sack, understands the situation. I cannot let this guy step up and throw a Hail Mary. I'm going to wait, peel back. He's winding up thinking he's free. I'm going to take him down. Right? Excellent play. Knocks the ball loose. That's a great play by Sapp. I mean, I love this guy on film. Just hit the home run right there. That's really sensational discipline by him, and it does not allow a Hail Mary ball to get off, and Florida takes a 21-7 lead into halftime. Again, versus Vanderbilt, obviously a bottom feeder of the SEC, but look, we got to be real. You know, Florida themselves in the past couple of years have not exactly been on the top of the SEC. A win's a win. You want to play well versus anyone. And a decent first half from Florida. We saw some issues on defense here, things you want to clean up, but all in all, pretty productive. The touchdown that Vanderbilt does have is fraudulent, that 85-yard touchdown. And the other one they probably should have had points on, opted to go for it and did not get it. So Florida backed up, kind of bowed up and got a stop. Third quarter action now. Florida gets stopped on offense, and this is something we don't see too often out of Florida's defense, which really makes me happy. It's something we saw all the time last year, and that is proper edge control. We've seen great gap control from Florida, but also setting the edge was something Florida did not do last year, and we're going to lose discipline here. I don't know whose fault it is. I'm not sure who the edge defender is. It seems like Jaden Hill is taking a very aggressive inside angle, probably on a run-fit blitz here in the C-gap. Either way, when he recognizes this play is the case here, you definitely don't want to get caught on the inside like this with 3 blockers and no Gators anywhere in sight. That's a bad look. Something has gone wrong here. And as you're going to see, he's not touched until he gets near the first down marker and then basically gets the first down before Jason Marshall. Again, I like to see this. Jason Marshall is not a part of run fit on this. Notice how he's backing up on the snap. He's not a part of run fit. He's going to, look, there's a blocker right here. Check this out. Going to shed a block, going to latch on, play with some physicality, and put a guy down, right? Let's go, Jason Marshall. That's what I'm talking about. So look, if you're maligning Jason Marshall, 1, stop. He's still a college kid. 2, a lot of potential there. And 3, if I'm coaching Jason Marshall, it's like, look, we just need to see more of this kind of stuff out of you. Let's put some consistent stuff on film. Because you are what you say you are on film, and inconsistent is not a tag any player ever wants. But nice work here from Marshall. Not nice work from Florida setting the edge, which causes them to give up quite a few yards on first down. Pre-snap motion. Again, you see the signaling right here. Here's R.J. Moten, the Michigan transfer. Motion signaling, how are we going to handle this? We went from a 3x1 now to a 2x2. The rules are different. Let's get our communication correct. And we do get our communication, in fact, sensationally correct. Jason Marshall with eyes on the 1 and the 2. If 1 goes under, he's going to make an under call, which you're going to see here. There it is. Under. Telling the inside defender, the hook defender here, apex defender, corner, hook defender. Telling the hook defender, now you take any man that comes underneath, inside. And then there it is. He's going to step in front. This is Wright Mitchell, the Ohio State product. He's going to step in front of this. And now Shamar is in a bad position here on the running back. He's not with him. No one is, in fact, checking the running back. He's got that check down on 2nd down and 1. Shamar just making a move here to come to the middle on the quarterback. So Florida leaves an open running back here, but up top of this route is perfect. R.J. Moten is in charge of any vertical that was run by the number 2, which is the tight end. He winds up running a dig route, and this is Moten flashing onto your screen here, where Moten is downhill in the interception lane. The only problem is he makes contact on his way through, and he's excited, and then he's not excited, right? That's unfortunate. But he's right there to make this play. Really, really good work. He gets the pass interference call on him. Not ideal, but here is the play. This is perfect technique here. Again, Marshall passes off the under route that you see right here. Here's your running back that's open. He's going to inexplicably choose to go here where the safety is coming down on this, and he's in the play. You love to see this be a pick. He just gets a little bit too far inside. He is playing the ball, and they call pass interference. So could they have let this one go? I think they could have. The All-22 shows he does right here make contact. I think he's playing the ball, but regardless, really nice play call. Florida does get one little thing wrong, missing the check down, but really nice play call and good execution by Florida's safeties, aggressively coming downhill, getting the rules right on the motion, and giving themselves a chance to make a play. Instead, it results in a first down for Vandy. 1st and 10, Vandy's going to run a guard tight end counter here. Now, this is not going to be anything that's going to be on coach's film for Vandy running a nice guard tight end counter. Couple things we see from Florida. 1, Princely's going to come right down the line upon recognizing this gap run, and we are going to crunch this, right, as much as possible. So basically, we are trying to spill this play to the outside. We're trying to close down all the interior. And on top of that, what's going to matter now is what do we do with our play side linebacker on this? And we didn't see this last time, right? We saw the linebackers hesitating or essentially not engaging. We're going to strike, bam, strike this block. You know you can't make the tackle, but what you want to do is you want to close the gap he wants to go to. Why? We're trying to spill this to our oncoming unblocked safety who is in this run fit coming downhill. In this case, it's R.J. Moten again. And this play is made by Tarajda Mitchell, striking this block so hard that we actually get the running back to go down. The gap becomes small. We're now right here with Shamar. We're here with Moten. That play is not going to be more than a couple of yards, and we live to fight another day. Now, this could be even better. Florida could have done an even better job here, obviously. However, they got aided by Vanderbilt. Better teams running this guard tight end counter are going to allow you. The rule's going to be, look, we'll let you. If you want to close this down, we'll let you do that. But I'm then going to let you be here, and I'm going to take my chances, and I'm going to instead kick out the next person in line and then bring him up through to take your safety, right? Because essentially, Princely takes himself out of this play. Now, the idea here for Princely and what you're trying to do is you're trying to shove this in here, and you're going to see him try this, and then get off of this to come into here, which is what he tries. The reason why Vanderbilt, of course, chooses to engage him is they know he's trying to do that. The reason why I'm showing you this is how much better Florida plays this. The only way it could be better is if you get a better 1st and 10 run fit here from Moten, who's coming downhill, and he's pretty late to the party. I like to see him close this gap a little bit more. But all in all, though, Florida, much improved. They had a good idea of what they want to do. Princely reads this immediately upon seeing the action of what's happening, crushes this, spills it, strikes this block here, playing with physicality. That leads to a tackle and a stop. 2nd and 7. This is not good quarterbacking here by Seals, in my opinion, for lots of reasons. One, he wants to throw a go route. Except you've got Kimber, who on hike is already bailing to stay on top of that route. If you're a quarterback and you see this, that's a no-fly zone for you. That's not going to work unless you have, Justin Jefferson or some matchup you love in a jump ball. That's just not going to be there. The corner has great technique. You're in trouble. Instead, why don't you just take this route? Let's take a look at that, right? Florida running a sim pressure here and Sapp coming out here, and this is the perfect route to beat that. Just take that route if you're Vandy. They don't. He's thinking bomb. He's not coming off of it. He wants his chance to throw a bomb. And then there comes a late run from Mitchell, who's going to get home with the quarterback. And this ball's never happening anyway. But Kimber, though, still has to make a play on it. He gives him a 50-50 shot, makes a nice play on it, stays on top, plays his role perfectly. That's why I'm showing it. It's the little things that add up. Great job by Kimber. Great stop by Kimber, bringing up 3rd down. Vandy 1 for 7 on 3rd down. They're going to try something unconventional here because nothing else they're doing is working. Here comes your jet sweep, and Florida's going to play this absolutely perfectly. Here's your run fit defender in Jaden Hill. We're going to come down here. Hello, Cersei, right? Recognizing right off the line Caleb Banks. This play's going over here. My job is to make sure we have numbers here. We're 3 on 3. If it's a ball carrier, we have 2 blockers, a free defender. We're in good shape. On this side, we have Shamar. Again, run fit, right? C gap, B gap, A gap. A gap, B gap, C gap. Check. Run fit. Check. That's what you want to see. That's what you see. And now because we get this right, this play kept here by Seals, which is a mistake. 1-on-1 versus Shamar. We know who's going to win that battle. Shamar puts him down, and we bring up 4th down. 2nd and 5. It's time for, unfortunately, the inconsistent portion of Jason Marshall to show up, and a rather sickening is probably the right word, repeat of what we saw from Ray Davis last week, and it's going to be Jason Marshall on a corner blitz, and I want to stop it right now. It's 2nd and 5. If you're on a corner blitz, you are also part of run fit. You are not just saying, I'm taking out the quarterback, I know he's passing it, I'm going to light him up. You are a run fit defender. If the ball is handed off, you have to stop it, which means you cannot do what we saw Jason Marshall do last week, which is take an angle way up here to where Ray Davis escaped right there. Not what you want. And here we do the same thing. He's running at the quarterback thinking, I'm about to lay this man out. He's not looking at me. We get a handoff, and now we're going to see the same thing we saw last time. You don't want to start swimming. If you're a corner and you're watching this and you're at any level, don't start swimming. Swimming is bad. It means you've overrun where you want to be. Instead of Jason Marshall having an easy contained tackle right here on 2nd and 5 for a loss, a TFL, he's going for a highlight hit on the quarterback. He now can't even touch him. And now we're in trouble. This is his job. This is his gap. He is the C gap defender. He's blown right through it. He's lost control of the edge. Now we're outside, and we're picking up a first down. So again, Jason, when you get called on these corner blitzes, you've got to keep in mind what your role is, right? Do your job. 11 have to work as one. 28-7, Vanderbilt not out of this game yet. What do we see here but a significantly blown assignment? Jason Marshall, RJ Moten, both doing the same exact thing. Here's Tarajda Mitchell. He's looking at the running back. That's fine. But these two guys both recognize, and what's kind of comical is like, okay, one of us are wrong. Both of us are wrong. We're next to each other. We're way underneath the play. There's nobody here for us to cover. And we see the guy we're supposed to cover because on the backside, notice how Shamar is going to let this interior breaking route go because he is expecting to have another hook defender there. That hook defender is gone. One of them, whoever it is down here. And now we're both going to hustle fully back. Good work, Jason Marshall, hustling back, only to then not really hustle here to finish this tackle. I think you want to try to get involved here if you need to be, but whatever. And then instead you see the freshman lay some wood right here. Bam! That is a big hit by your freshman, Bryce Thornton. You like to see him at least pay for this right here. Wow! Nice hit. Unfortunately, we've got issues right here on the back end. We blow this play here, and that winds up being a chunk play for Vanderbilt. So again, Florida blowing a lot of assignments. I expect to see this. RJ Moten got a lot of play in this game, made some mistakes. Bryce Thornton, a lot of play in this game. Not as many mistakes as a freshman, but some. But again, you don't want to see this, and I don't know who it is, right? I can't tell you, but it's also not unexpected. When you're playing different guys like this and you play the way Florida plays, it's complicated. You're going to make some mistakes. You want to minimize the damage, and obviously Florida's third down success really helped to cover up a lot of these misplays. 2nd and 10. This game not over yet. Late in the third quarter, Florida's going to blow another assignment here. Princely thinks he has the running back, and so does Tarajda Mitchell. And we just saw this before, and that means nobody has the number 2 receiver. Somebody's got to have the number 2 receiver. Highly unlikely that Princely is going to be running with the number 2 receiver. Can't be sure there. More likely it's going to be Tarajda Mitchell, who's also not a great matchup for that. But regardless, they both come down here. Tarajda recognizes, oh no, what have I done? I need to be on that guy. I'm not on that guy. And he's going to walk in the end zone. So most likely Mitchell in this situation here. For a guy who's played a lot of football, it's an unfortunate mistake. And Vanderbilt not out of the game yet. 3rd and 4 off your screen is RJ Moten playing single high. This is your freshman safety, Bryce Thornton, who's gotten a lot of feature here. You can see right away with the motion man, a little bit of confusion. Shamar James moves over and says, oh, okay, you're going with him. All right, cool, I'll stay here. And then Thornton looks over at Jason Marshall and at Kimber, and is like, hey, man, am I good? Do you have him, or do I have the 2 over here? Not really sure. Okay, legit, I'm going to take the 2, and we're going to be all right. And this 2 is going to be a little out route here. Bubbling back here into the zone is Wingo, so we're in the flat. We're on top of this here with Kimber acting as sort of a safety in this situation. We're triangling this 3x2. Nice way to do it. Let's funnel this in the middle, right down on the ball. Ball's there. Look at this play by a freshman, right? Bryce, after being a little confused, gets it, hand on it. Wingo finishes it. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 4. Now Vanderbilt 1 for 9 on 3rd down. Nice stuff. 4th down and 4 for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt runs a nice concept here. They recognize that Florida is doing what they do, obviously, and if he motions across, Florida may pass this off, where Moten will then become the safety, and he'll pass this off. Let's watch this play out as we move. Here you go. Coming across. Here's Moten. He's telling him, hey, look, pass this off. This is yours. Right, we're good. This is yours. I'm going to come back here. You come down here and take him. Except Vandy's like, check this out, though. I'm coming back here. Psych. It's the wrong number, right? He's going to come out the backside here, and we're off to the races. Look at this. We're going to reset now as the number 2 receiver. We're going to get in the wake right here. We're going to mess with you, get in the wake right here, and come out right here for the first down. It's exactly what Seals is looking at. That's what he wants to see. Moten does a really nice job to get back down after recognizing, whoa, I got to get down here. Comes back down on the route. Seals, who thinks right now, this looks awesome. I've got this. Moten hustles into the window and largely takes that throw away. So Florida reestablishes. Florida bringing pressure right here with 6. This is the only 6-man pressure of the game. And it is going to get home thanks to Moten coming down right there. There's Princely. Again, wreaking havoc, coming across the edge. Princely comes down. And then breaking free is Wingo. Nice concept here from Florida. And they meet at the quarterback. Kelby Collins, Cersei, Princey, everyone's there. Helmet on the head. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. 4th and 4. See you later. Game basically sealed and over. So Vanderbilt 0 for 3 on 4th down, 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Really good stuff by Florida's defense, but they make up for what could have been a mistake. Nice work by Florida, recognizing it, getting communication here. No, go back, RJ. That's what happens off your screen. Right now, he's like, no, go back. And he does go back, and he gets there and makes the play. 3rd and 2, this will be the 1 for 10. 3rd down, I just alluded to. They're 1 for 9 now. Sensational stuff from Florida's defense multiple times this year, just shutting down the opposition on 3rd down. Simulated pressure from Florida here. Play fake, coming to a quick screen on 3rd and 2. Now, Vanderbilt should have this based upon the setup. Jason Marshall's off here. Right, this looks pretty promising. RJ Moten here. Let's get a block right here and then a block right here. And we are getting this first down. Except RJ Moten says, nah, I'm going to get to the outside first, which is what you want to do. I'm going to turn this back inside. But look, Jason Marshall's not going to get there in time, most likely. Our interior defenders probably aren't going to get there in time. But RJ Moten's like, I don't really care. I'm getting past this block. I'm not letting this happen. And I'm going to let this guy run right into me because this ball is horrible by Seals thrown behind him. That's what makes this play. You got to put this ball right here so we can run into it and take off. Princely's not going to be able to bat that ball down if you throw it over there. So Vanderbilt, their own kind of worst enemy on this play, but Moten's still in the right place. Gets himself a tackle for loss. Brings up 4th down for Vandy. Nice work by Florida. Again, in that situation, up 38-14 with 5 minutes left. Florida's I just still like that Florida's able to make these plays later in games rather than just backing way off and giving you time and cushion space. They were giving Vanderbilt there that first down, but Vanderbilt still had to execute it, and they did not do it. And with that, we'll come to the end of the film review, appropriately ending with Vanderbilt in a punt formation, as Florida made them do so often in this football game. So you saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, as film review is for. The one thing I really like about this defense is I think you better count on the fact that Coach Ham and the entire coaching staff will look at what was put on this film. The players will work to continue to improve their communication, so we begin to see less and less of these blown assignments as the year goes on, especially as these rotations narrow and Florida settles on who they think their best 11 are on defense and their best 11 are in the back 4, as well as the back 7, so to speak, depending on how we're playing pass coverage. But there's a lot to like from this defense, not only from a scheme standpoint, if everything works correctly, but also just in general from a player standpoint. For, again, Florida to be this improved on defense, a top 10 success rate defense in almost all categories from a year ago, is outstanding. And I believe they're going to continue to hopefully carry this Florida team as much as this unit can. A lot of coin flip games coming up, starting with South Carolina this weekend. If the defense can be exceptional, Florida has a chance to win. I think Florida's offense is largely what it is, but the defense can be the X factor. We'll see if they're up for the task. I'll be back with you next week to break down the South Carolina game. As always, I hope you enjoyed this content. I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast. Go Gators.